Hello, family. As you know, there are some changes that we're making to our stage, and we want to make sure that you're fully aware of the context behind these changes. So, number one, we are getting rid of these glass panels so that your view of what's happening on the stage is not inhibited at all. That's going to be the first thing to go. The second thing that is going to happen is that we are building a drum cage on this side of the stage. So you might be wondering, why are we building a drum cage here? Number one, as many of you have noticed in our worship services, the sound can be very loud in spite of the best efforts of our media ministry. So one of the reasons why that's happening is because our current drum cage cannot fully fit against the wall and fully enclose the sound. So as the sound from the drums ricochet off of the wall and acoustically come back at the congregation, then the media ministry oftentimes has to raise the volume on the microphones in order to kind of balance things out, because the sound of the drums is so loud. So once we build a fully enclosed drum cage, we're going to be able to limit the sound that's coming from the drum cage, and therefore also be able to limit the volume on our microphones and our music overall, and be able to control it very well. Some of you might also be wondering, why are we stationing the drum cage here in the front? Why can't we station it in the back? Great questions. So number one, you'll notice that the space right now between the current drum cage and this space is very limited. It has been a danger at times, and sometimes it's even smaller than this. So when the choir is entering onto the stage, or people are trying to go on or go off of the stage, it is something that's dangerous. So if we were to build a drum cage over here, we would maintain this particular problem. In fact, we would make this problem permanent. So in an effort to create more space so that it can be safe as possible as people are coming on and off of the stage, the drum cage is actually moving forward. And as we move the drum cage forward, this is going to give us the opportunity to change the orientation of the organ so that the organ actually faces this way. And then that way, there should be about 3 to 4 more feet of space here. So our keyboardist will simply move up a little bit. The organ and the drum cage will switch positions, but then the organ will change orientation and will actually face the people, which will create a whole lot more space on this side, making it much safer for people to enter onto the stage and exit off of the stage without the risk of falling. Some of you may also be aware that there's been a danger on this side as well, because the organ was originally all the way up here. Our choir members and platform participants were also at risk of falling or being injured, and even in one instance, one was, because there just wasn't enough space here. Are you catching the floor? So in an effort to mitigate that risk, the organ and the piano switched places in order to create a bit more space. But as you can well see, this is still not the ideal amount of space as people are walking on and off, especially for our choirs. So we're doing a few things in order to try and fix it on this side. Number one, we're taking the stage platform and we're extending it all the way out to the wall. We're hoping that creating more space here without blocking this egress, that will allow us to create more space for our organ and for our piano, and also to be able to make it so that people who are entering on the platform don't have to enter from the back of the platform, but they can enter from the front. So one of the other things that we're going to be doing is that we're going to be taking stairs and we're going to extend it all the way to the end over here. So you might want to come down, which means our stairs here are going to come all the way to the end over here. What we're hoping is that this will give us enough space to kind of push our instruments back a little bit, and then we can enter onto the stage from the front and walk directly to the pulpit and be able to exit from either side as well. Something else to be mindful of is that when we're building and extending the stairs all the way to that side, we will not be able to extend the stairs all the way over here. We're gonna extend it a bit over here, but then we have to leave some space for this egress and for this exit because we can't block it. So also for the sake of symmetry, since we can't block it and it is going to leave a significant drop, the only way for us to both remove the panels and make it functional is for us to put the drum cage over here. That way we're coming straight out of the wall into the drum cage, and we don't have to hold on to these anymore because now we're making this kind of unusable space more functional. Some of you might be wondering, Pastor, why aren't we putting the drum cage all the way in the back? Well, you'll notice there is an egress back there. So we don't want to block any of our entrances or exits. That is an exit and entrance that's used for our baptismal candidates. It is also used for safety. So in an effort to not remove any of our exits, we're not putting it all the way in the back, bringing it to the front. We're putting the organ back there. And we're creating more space both on the right-hand side as well as on the left-hand side. So these are the issues that we're trying to resolve with the design of the new stage. Number one, to remove the glass panels. Number two, to create more space in the exits for the left and right sides of the stage. Number three, to enclose the drum cage so that the drum cage sound can be limited. The sound coming from the drums can be limited and be managed successfully for our worship services. And then ultimately to push our instruments back just enough so that we can enter onto the stage from the front rather than from the back. So once again, I hope that these changes will solve all of these problems and make the stage and the platform as functional as possible. That's why we're doing what we're doing, and I hope that it's a blessing to you all.